Hey yo, G Dash, boy, take your hat off. Fine. This week on Hats Off with G Dash Jones. Hey, you watching Hats Off with your boy G Dash Jones. Woo! What? Oh, we start with bars. Hold on. Give me a little bit more. Skirt. What? That is Elize purpose, y'all. Woo! The barsy bars, you feel me? The barsy bars. Welcome, you are watching Hats Off with your boy G Dash Jones, where we talk flavor with the tastemakers, talk change with the change makers. You see what I'm saying? We talk spit game with the game changers, you know. Again, and as you know, again, the theme song was purposed by Elize. If y'all don't know about Elize, y'all gonna learn today. Oh man, there she go. I say, there she go. Y'all know it.
Here I am.
Yeah, how you?
How are you?
Man, listen, another day in paradise.
Yeah, I heard that.
Another day in paradise. We cooking. I'm glad to have you here. Again, they don't, in case they don't know. Listen, they don't know that was purpose. They might not have heard. See, anytime you've been on my show, we ain't talk about your bars. See, we haven't. We talked about your art.
Yeah.
We ain't getting to the rapper. Elize with the rapper hands. Okay.
Yeah, we have it.
Yes, but in case you don't know, today we will be talking. We're gonna get into Elize with the rapper hands. We get into the bars. We're gonna get into everything from. By the way, she's an established muralist. Right, I like that word. That word is fun to say out loud. So we're going to get into how she became an established muralist as well as an established a visual artist with all the things. And we're going to talk about some of the lyrical substance that she brings to the table. So we're talking about all the things Elize today. This is an honor. As y'all don't know this, but I've been trying to get this interview for a while. We've been cooking. This was one of them ones. So y'all don't know. I do though.
Yeah.
So I'm honored to have you here.
Yeah, it's an honor
Now,
to be here.
good. Tell people a little bit about yourself. Tell them what I missed. Tell them.
Well, I mean, you ain't really missed nothing. Visual artist, MC, from Aberdeen, Maryland, but home base truly feels like is Wilmington. All my community is out there. A lot of my art centers around paying homage to the ones that came before us, the ones that set the foundation, and being a catalyst of that, bridging the gap, just reminding people of what we do and why we do it. So, heavy on
Why
Black
is that?
culture.
Why is that important for you?
Because because everything they did is a segue to everything we do now. Like and nothing is new. Like I feel like a lot of people be like, it's because we're getting up there in age where I see people knowing like they might know like Morgan Freeman from like a commercial or something versus like he did all these movies. Like he's been around a long time. They know Denzel for The Equalizer, but they don't know Denzel from Malcolm X, and all that. So it's like, no, I need us to dig a little deeper, and just remember how we got here because it wasn't an easy road either. Like, how people fought and struggled to make these things happen, and now we are in those spaces that they opened the door for. So, and like
That makes a lot of sense.
And like Nas said, no idea is original. There's nothing new under the sun. It's never what you do, but how it's done. So just gotta say thank you because a lot of the stuff we either seen before or we'll probably never see again, especially with the amount of legends we've had passing away back to back to back. We just touched March, so it's getting real thick, and these are how the recipes get lost. So.
Thank you. Listen, by the way, we started off with Nas bars early, okay? Like, I just need y'all to pay attention to the fact that this is question one, and we got Nas bars already. So just prepare yourself for what we go through today. Now, and I actually think that's that not only are you right, I think that it does get missed how things are generationally. And for you, you know, you've had the 1994 exhibit twice, you know, part one and part two. Shouts out to you and Devon and Ari for putting that whole thing together. Literally meant to pay homage. And so it's seen throughout throughout different of your exhibits. So I want to kind of go back. How did you get into this journey of art? How did that happen?
It's something I've always done. You know, it's kind of like when you're a kid at school and they try to nurture your artistic endeavors and your creativity. You know, eventually as you age up, it kind of falls off for people. Some people venture away, some people stick with it, and I stuck with it. And once I got to, you know, like my last year of middle school, and they're like, oh, you can choose your high school classes, what direction you want to take. You can take these classes and do boom, boom, boom. I'm like, I don't know what I want to do. But then I'm like, it clicked. And I was like, girl, you're an artist. Although it wasn't framed in my head that way at the time. It was more like, girl, you do art. Like, keep doing that. So that was the direction I took. And the rest is history. It's always been there.
Okay. Was it hard for you to keep going as you start seeing people kind of move away from their dreams? A lot of times, especially once people hit high school, they start to just fade away from the dreams and start picking things and feeling like, oh, I gotta pick something that's not. And it's like, no, you don't. So how'd you stick in that space when it became that real?
I think probably delusion. You know, they say delusion, delusion keeps you going. You know, I feel like I didn't see a turning point in like the technical aspect of my work until I got to college, you know, and also I had a very solid foundation. Like my parents supported me. I know a lot of times parents might deter their children from getting creative careers, and, you know, you want something more solid. And while they did have their concerns, they never told me to stop, never deterred me from doing it. They didn't say it wasn't worth it or anything like that. So I had a solid support system that way too. I know everybody doesn't, so I'm blessed.
That's a fact. That's a fact. By the way, so if you're watching this, right, you in the back, yeah, either you are a part of someone's support system and then be that, like, be it. It's okay to be it, right? It's okay to not project their things onto you. So support, and then you never know what type of light you're putting together. Now, okay, so was there a moment when you knew this was your calling? Did that ever hit, or was it just always a knowing?
I guess there was always a knowing subconsciously, and I just kind of leaned in. But I think maybe if I were to give it a specific moment in time, I think maybe the Louisvillian mural on West 9th Street I did in 2020. I think that was a very pivotal moment because not only was it in support of, because all of us that did murals around the city around that time, it was very, very like we were making a statement, all of us. James White, Jaquan Leroy, Jana Williams, and
Now I'm going to time out real quick, just so if you're watching this, here's what I want you to frame in 2020. And I know this because I had Jonathan Whitney on my show. So go back and watch that episode. That tells you a little bit about that gives you a little bit more detail. But just so y'all know, 2020 happens. George Floyd happens. Breonna Taylor is in the midst of, hey, they didn't lock it up. They riot in the city, right? This is what's happening in Wilmington. Build it like it gets real. Partially what happened was they went to different local artists and said, hey, how about we put up murals over some of these places that were getting that had been kind of affected by some of the riots and some of the things that was going on. So having Black artists add to that, right? Having Black artists kind of paint over some of the destruction that was also credited to us for whatever reason, however it played out, right? But having us artists, having Black artists cover it up and create murals made it even an even more emotional space. Can you tell us about your mural during that time and how, what was your inspiration and what you actually did?
So I painted a portrait of Oluwatoyin Salau. I don't know how to say her last name. I'm gonna say it every time because God bless her. Definitely don't want to disrespect the name, but she had just recently been slain in Tallahassee, Florida. She was a Black Lives Matter activist, and I remember she, like, right before, you know, she was killed, she had been tweeting on Twitter about, I think she needed help, like she was homeless, didn't have shelter. There was some things going on and she needed help, and I think nobody had heard from her, and she was found with this elderly woman. Actually, they were both found deceased, and I was just seeing like it wasn't getting a lot of coverage at the time, and I know you there are people that become martyrs, and they get the main focus, but there were so many people being killed around that time. Trayvon Martin, it started there and it became a ripple effect, but I just knew there was just so many more like Black women and Black girls that weren't being talked about, weren't being considered, even looked for, like the ones being kidnapped and everything. So I was like, let me honor her and put her on the forefront, because we're often in danger too and nobody talks about it on the same scale. And since it's a sensitive time, it's just like it doesn't ever feel like a right time to bring it up, but it's like it's got to be talked about. It's got to be talked about. So I did the portrait of her, and then I looked up all these names of Black women and Black girls that had passed away, and I wrote their names on the other side. Like over 400 names, you know.
Wow.
So.
Ooh, National Women's Month. In case y'all don't know, we here. You know what I'm saying? In case they don't.
Yes.
that's where we at. You know what I mean? I didn't make it. That's where we at. But I don't know. Was it hard to make it through that? Because to me, that you're like, yes, you're painting, but you're pouring so much emotion into a mural that it feels like it could be easy to break down. Like it's a lot of emotion in feeling that. How did you? Was it hard to make it through, or?
I don't know that it was difficult. I mean, there was some challenges, I guess, as far as that was my first outside mural. And then also, you got a lot of people stopping you, wanting to talk to you, and just a whole bunch of questions. You kind of in a zone, and people like, oh, how much you charge for work, or what's going on? And I'm just like,
wow.
And sometimes I wasn't feeling the most diplomatic about things, and I was just, in hindsight, I'm like, also that was my time really like dwelling in the city, like in that capacity, because when I was coming to Wilmington, a lot of my time was spent on the riverfront. I think that was the first time I was really stepping into the city and getting a glimpse of like people's day to day, because I had called out from work like the whole week just to get it done. I came like every day for like 9 to 10 hours, so I got a view of the city in a way I hadn't before. I seen a lot of good things, heard a lot of good things, heard some questionable things, some precarious things, but that's the duality of life. And but overall, I felt content in the mission. Definitely has some, people ask a lot of interesting questions too.
Like what?
I had this guy come up to me and ask me, because I made her earring say God, and he got to talking about, Adam and Eve and things of that nature. Somebody saw and was like, all right, you got God up there. What else is there to talk about? And I'm just like, you got it, bro. I don't know what, I had a man, he seemed to be, on some substance, and he was kind of hovering over me as I was painting. That was a little uncomfortable, It was like, okay. Dudes talk, dudes talking greasy on the phone about, handling some things. And I'm like, okay, that's what's up. But it's
Yeah.
it's getting by that daybreak, and I'm like, I didn't look at him, but I was just like, yeah, I
Yeah,
guess.
let me get off this ladder soon.
Yeah,
Let me get off this
yeah,
ladder.
yeah. I know y'all gets busy around here. Let me,
Yes.
I'll be packing up soon.
Yeah.
Don't even worry about it.
Like, hey, whatever activity you got going on, can you do it away from the mural? Because it's not done, and I gotta come back tomorrow. Like, I don't want you. I don't need no caution tape stopping me from doing what I got.
Look, it's like, I believe you, bro. I believe you all the way. I don't doubt you for a second. I'm not testing nobody's gangster, nothing.
That is real. That is real. Okay, so, all right. So now, that was your first mural. When was your first exhibit?
Well, my first group exhibit was in 2018 for the Newark Arts Alliance in Newark, Delaware. First solo show was with Nataki Oliver at the Soul Farm. Wait, back that up. Actually, I exhibited my work at the City County building first. But right after that, that's when I was exhibiting from January to April. Yes, January to April in 2022. But May 2022 to like July, Nataki, she amped it up, because you at the city building, you hang your own stuff, but she took the work and she transformed it in a whole nother way for me, and I haven't looked at it the same since.
What exhibit was this?
Skin Deep.
Okay. How did you, what was it like for you having your art curated, right? Because, like, again, like you said, you haven't looked at it the same since, but that's because a curation of your art is then, especially with Natalia, because she's dope, so she probably changed it while it stayed your art, kept the integrity of it, but placed it in a certain fashion. How did it shape how you looked at it?
I was just like, oh, there's possibilities for other things. Like, there's capacity for more to come out of this. But not only that, programming. We have some dope programming, and the way I even talk about my work now, like, she kind of just opened that up for me, because I hadn't been used to it at that point. So it was just kind of like, it was kind of me watching. She was just like showing me the ropes. So when I branched off and did 1994 with Devon, it kind of, it shifted everything, because I had an idea of like, oh, I could carry this a certain way. Like, I can, it's really limitless. Like, I can do whatever. We can do whatever, if as far as the show goes.
Now with 1994, how did that feel? Because you go from like, by the, like, it's I didn't even realize how crazy it was. But you go from, you have your solo show, you had a mural. This is all within like a 3-year span, essentially. And
Yeah.
and you, like, and that included your first group exhibition, and now you're bringing someone else on and kind of showing them, hey, like, this is what this is, right? And so you go from like that.
Yeah.
What did that feel like?
It was definitely different, because it's one thing to like take the step back and have somebody kind of doing it for you and showing you what this could be, or stepping in, because at that point I'm like, well, dang, what am I trying to say, or how am I trying to have this show up? So starting from the ground up, it kind of gave me rope to like, oh, this is possible. We can do this, or we can do that. So program it, documenting the exhibition, talking about the exhibition, all of those things that seem minuscule, like, make a world of difference, because that's how people learn about you, and that's how people want, interpersonal interactions, so that allowed me to open up a lot, because artists, we kind of aloof and can be real off sometimes. And this has opened me up so much more, just to be able to connect with people and be more personable. So
Absolutely. You had to start to interacting. That is
yo,
deep. Now,
I was not trying to talk to nobody at first. I was like, I gotta talk. No, that's really where it started off. Nataki invited me to the showcase at the Wilmington Public Library at the end of 2021. And I brought all my stuff, did X, Y, and Z. And then I saw them setting up microphones. I'm not thinking nothing of it because I'm thinking, oh, they got speakers. I didn't realize we were the speakers. I'm like, I wasn't prepared for this. That's nobody told me anything. And then she's in the talk, oh yeah, y'all gotta talk. I'm like, man, oh man, that was rough. That was rough. That was rough.
okay.
And then afterwards, she was just like, y'all needed that. And I'm like, but she was right.
Yes.
She was right. But
wait, because I want whoever's in the back, I want the people in the back to know why. Because a lot of artists, like you said, are introverted and they don't want to do that. Why do you feel like you did need that? How did that help you in your career?
just to be able to explain my work, it's one thing because I could show you anything, and you trying to talk to the artist and they really not giving you much. It's just like once you create art and share it with everybody, it's not yours anymore. It is not yours anymore. It gives space for people to interpret how they want. You could talk to them about the process, and it gives them an idea of how your mind works. And even with that I think that bridges the gap with the human connection. But also, like, if you were looking to expand, you could collaborate with other people, brand deals, everything. Like it's a business. It is a business. It's a
No,
business at the end of the day.
listen, you see me look at like that because I love. To me, that's a teachable moment, right? That's when the replay of this, whenever someone's watching this, that line is useful. People need to know that it's a business because it's easy to forget. And Erica said it one time. Badu, excuse me. She said, "I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my," and that feeling is true, and it makes it hard to deal with the commercialization of the field. How do you deal with that balance, right? Because it is a business, but you're also sensitive about your art.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is just being authentic in all the spaces. I know a lot of people, they feel like they're selling out, or they're not doing what they want to do. I mean, you can absolutely tailor that, and then because that's how you find your audience. Like, let's say you paint dogs, but you hate painting dogs, but all your people want you to paint dogs because all you do is paint dogs. I mean, that's gonna be your clientele. People who want dogs. You want to start painting cats, you just got to start painting cats, and maybe send them to somebody else that paints dogs or what have you, or just be expansive in that, because you could crank out a dog painting real quick and be like, that's just quick cash on the side until I can get that long money. It's you got to play the long game. You really got to play the long game.
By the way, if you watching this, look left, look right, pick up the gems. Okay, she just dropped gems everywhere. There's just gems all over the floor, and I don't want you to miss none. Got to catch them all. Get yourself some gems up off that floor that she's dropping them. Okay, so now you've done the murals. You as a visual artist, you got the paintings. At some point in the midst of this world, you you had a pen and a pad and wrote some bars. Okay, how did that happen? How did you become a lyricist? Like, how did you wind up writing music?
Happened in high school. I had my friends, and then one day we was just writing rhymes or whatever, and it became like, oh, you should really rhyme. I was real bad at the beginning. Very humble beginnings, but like I said, that's where that delusion kick in, or you got enough people that see the potential and can tell you you're nice, and then it's enough to keep you going. That's how you get better. And I did some mixtapes back in the day, working with people. Then I got on the internet with it. I was very, very inconsistent with the writing though. Like I will say that, like and make it like I would write like, and even the painting, like before like 2021, even a painting, like I was doing like one painting a year, like or writing one verse a year. Like I was very inconsistent for a long time, and but anytime I would finally like I guess feel like doing it, that inspiration, I would put something out and kind of I guess leaving people on cliffhangers, So, but I had become so enmeshed in the music. I'm a vinyl collector. I even made beats at one point. I was doing all of the things, just dabbling, but it picked up around 2018, 2019. It's wavered. I'm back and forth with it, but that's how it started. Kind of wavering with it right now.
I know. Listen, I always push it. So
I know. Yeah.
There's a couple things I've been pushing you. I was asked you every time about it.
Man, look, Purpose is almost 6 years old. I wrote that when I was 25. I'm 31 now, so I just put it out in November. I don't have the words for it, but
is
that's
it
where I'm at right
cold though? But is it cold though? You know it's cold. Like that's not that bad to me. You know it's cold. But I do like again, if you're in the back, here's the thing that we get caught up in. We can always people get lost in art and feel like, well, no, I can't put it out now. As you can see, she told you that song's about 6 years old, but the style of it, the texture of it, feels like it could have came out. It could come out anytime. But with that said, part of that is that you care about substance. Why do you care about substance in your lyricism so much? Like it feels like there's weight when you to your bars. Why is that so important for you?
Just maintaining the integrity of hip hop and myself, you know. And I think it shows how much influence plays a part in the music. I mean, look at what mainstream is today and how people have been responding to that. I mean, even back then, the rappers that knew they were entertainers and strictly entertainers talking about, toting guns or popping pills or whatever. And people really thought they were doing that, not realizing like, oh, this is a facade. We're having fun. A lot of people can't separate reality and entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
So,
she cooking, y'all. She cooking.
You know this.
Listen, we live in the world. They can't not with these phones and not with these things.
Have the reality shows and everybody's fighting and it's just all this mess.
Yeah, listen, I done seen reality shows meet government presidential elections. It gets crazy out here.
Yeah, it does. Like, I even say like there's no such thing as a scandal anymore because everybody gonna put their business out themselves. We used to have shame. We don't have shame anymore.
Shame. Yeah, no, they don't care. They don't care. Now the things that people used to be shamed about or feel shame for, they now go on this virtual world and turn it into a profit somehow. Like that's what they commercialize.
Looking for sympathy or empathy about. It's just I don't know. It's just very interesting when people do things and they don't like they think everybody's gonna be on their side. Like they did something, they got a response back, and then want to cry wolf. And I'm like, no, it's not what you thought. It's not what you thought.
Yes. Especially when no talent is the new talent. Shouts out to Mook. But the thing that makes me think about is when I not just hear your music, but in your exhibits, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are times when you're able to personalize it in, because you can be such a private person, you're able to still pour yourself into your exhibit. Shouts out to Liberation. What was the process like putting that together? Because that was a very personal exhibit for you.
Mm-hmm. Um, I think it was a lot heavier than I realized at the time. I still have paintings to complete for that, actually. So it'll be back at some point. Liberation will be back at some point. Um, I've been in a transformational period for the past couple years now. It's been very interesting to grow in all aspects of my life, career wise, home life, relationships. It's all been a whirlwind of things because I was so like stonewalled. It was like I want to get out here and really push myself to do all the things I set to do, but it's like you gotta break the wall down. You know, you built it up brick by brick. You gotta start, breaking them joints down. So, and that leaves you vulnerable. This exposure, but it's also growth in that.
What made you lean into the vulnerability? Because a lot of times it's easier to run away from it.
Oh, when you get tired of doing the same thing, you're gonna do something different. You know, you'll get tired of it. You will get tired of it, and if you don't,
That's a fact.
then hey, I don't know, but I try to be mindful because I think a lot of times people wait on repercussions or it's not coming back. This opportunity is not coming back. People think they got all the time in the world, and they don't. We are all on borrowed time. So, and getting older now, and I'm like, I can't keep doing the same thing. That is getting me nowhere. I mean, just like pretty much like my art career, I've had to shift so many things, and it's been a rewarding experience. But I should stop more and just be thankful about how far I've come because all the things I wanted to do a few years ago, I'm doing now. But now I'm still thinking about, oh, I got to do all this other stuff. But in reality, like I did what I said I was going to do before. So there should be a moment of celebration and honoring, even if it's small.
Mm-hmm. Again, for those of you in the back, this is also for you, but for those of you in the back, here's what you need to do, right? Essentially, you're so busy running the race of trying to attain the next thing, build yourself up, grow, that you forget to review your resume aside from where you putting it together for someone else to look at. Review it for yourself. Because there's a list of accomplishments that you deserve to give yourself credit for. Look at it and say, wow, I did that. Hold on, I did that too. Hold on, wait, I did that. It's okay to look and be like, I did that. Like,
Yeah.
do that sometime because you deserve it. You deserve to give yourself the credit. You earned it.
Amen.
So now, with that said, so now looking at this, couple things I still want to add. Because so now from what was the change? You said 2021 really to now, all of a sudden like it stepped up a little bit. Do you know what the catalyst was for that?
Change. Just wanting a change at the time. Yeah. Wanted to change.
You
I
just
had
wanted
get.
more?
Especially with the art, it was always I wasn't, ready or like, no, not right now. It was like I didn't put myself in a position to attain this in the way that I feel it should be attained. So I'm not gonna do it, or I wasn't ready to. But it was like, well, what if you just started saying yes to everything? And so that's what I started doing. Say yes to everything. And that's why that's why my 2022 went the way it went. All the shows I won the grant. Could have do a better job taking care of myself though. Because there was no structure at first. Now I have a bit more structure than I did before, so I could work a lot more efficiently. So yeah, it was the catalyst was change, man, growth and fulfilling the purpose.
Yes, yes. Again, in the back, this is the beauty of this conversation. And especially because me and you had conversations, so I like this. The thing I want everybody to know in life, you're going to ask for a thing. Because you're going to be moving like you might not get it. Then you're going to get it. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, I didn't know I was going to get it.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah. Yo, man, I saw this quote the other day. I might be quoting it wrong. I think I saw it on Twitter. I don't know who specifically quoted it, but they was like, I asked God for flowers and he gave me rain, and it's like, you're going to struggle a little bit, but that's part of the results.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep going. Like withstand the rain.
Ooh. You got a bunch of quotables on this interview. Like you snap. You got a lot of those. I can tell you a rapper. All right. So
appreciate it, man.
No doubt. So I do want to look at this too. 2020 was your first mural. Right. Last year, late last year, you had the mural inside the Christiana, I believe it was in the hospital, right? St. Francis, right? So, right. So we're looking at 4-year swing, quite a few murals in between, actually, considering how have you changed as a muralist in that time frame?
I have a better grasp on the business side, taking care of business. Their business gonna hit you in the face every time in the art world. So you might as well be prepared for it, learn it, abide by it, because the experiences will definitely they will humble you, they will discourage you, all the things. But there's nothing to be worried about if you're already prepared. So usually we worry because we ain't prepared or we don't feel prepared. So just get prepared. And it was also the first time that I worked with people. Shout out to Coney Madariaga and Jaquan Leroy. She asked me to be lead on it, so sketching it out. I designed it, and we went to work. Man, we put so many hours on that thing. It was crazy because it was so last minute. Like we did it within like a month. It was a lot. I have a full-time job, so it was like, and I was in the midst of other things at the time because I did so many shows last year. The Hip Hop Summit 1994 Part 2. It was a lot going on, man. So I just learned to manage my time better. But
Absolutely.
it was a rewarding experience for sure. I appreciated it, and I think it's built my confidence too, because I had never, leading people. I'm like, you your own artist, but I get it now. It's you set the foundation and the rest follows. So.
Now, okay. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Now, understanding that growth that you've had, right? To me, I think that it's beautiful for me to have seen. Like I met you at such an interesting. I think I met you right at the beginning of this. Like at least right after. Like yeah. Right. Yeah. Wow. Like I saw a lot of.
That conversation. The conversation we had right after the first interview, pivotal for me. I don't think you understand how pivotal, because I've referenced it so many times in my life, and even just certain things you've said to me just casually in conversation. I'm like, how did he know?
This ain't about me. So I'm ducking all of this conversation, ducking everything about this.
Look, we here. So shout out to you, man. You shout out to you.
Listen, I don't even know. But what I will say, so the next question is, now, if you had to give advice, if you had to give advice, I'll ask all my guests this. This is one of my favorite questions to ask. If you have to give advice to a younger version of yourself, now, here's the trick. It's a younger version of you, but the year is still 2025, right? So a young Elize, just eat. You know what I'm saying? Like, just eat, running around here, figuring it out, right? But again, the year is 2025. What advice would you give to that youth version of yourself?
Show up for yourself. You got to show up for yourself. Because I wasn't doing that. Kind of goes back into everything I've been saying this entire time, but you have to show up for yourself. The things you say you want to do, the things you set out to do, just do them. And everything else will fall into place later. Just even delving in the art world, like I said, none of this is ours. Like, we create for ourselves first and foremost, but once it's out there, it's not ours anymore. And we're just catalysts. Like, we're vessels for something bigger than ourselves. Like, so all of this will be here, and once I'm gone, like, it's still gonna be here. Everything changes, but while you're here, you definitely got to make space for yourself and show up for yourself. Take yourself seriously, so other people can take you seriously too.
Listen, wise words from a great woman. Y'all better show up for yourself, y'all. Like, listen, I didn't say it. She told you what to do. Y'all don't be hard-headed. Now, okay, this has been a phenomenal interview. Everything I expected it to be honest.
I appreciate that.
This went exactly how I was hoping it would go, so I'm good.
Hey.
Now, I tell people, if you give me a word, I'll give you a poem. Now, as you think of the word, I got to do what I like to call a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. It's a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. Where I give gratitude to some people who did some phenomenal things. So again, quick hat tip. Blip, blip. Goes to the Delaware Music Network and iHarley, as well as the Best Kept Soul Productions. They had the Sunday Soul Brunch. Shouts out to the Opulent as well. iHarley was up there with the vocals, and she had bars. I didn't even know iHarley had rapper hands. iHarley got rapper hands, y'all. She was up in there. She snapped. It felt amazing. So if you missed it, I feel bad for you. Hopefully you can catch some clips, but shouts out to iHarley. That voice was amazing. She is phenomenal. Also, quick hat tip. Blip, blip. I said a quick hat tip. Blip, blip. Oh, Elize. Now, we talked about it because the closing show is tomorrow. But if y'all don't know, shouts out to Elize and Smash Label downstairs at Chris Wright. Phenomenal exhibit. But I missed this yesterday night. Did a whole exhibit with the Air Force One, big dog, stumping in the Air Force One. That's a fact. I just happen personally to never seen nothing like that before. So if hopefully check out Mr. Yesterday Night, you go see him use an Air Force One as a paintbrush. Okay, and it sounds like, and I know I joke a lot. I am not joking. Okay, he used an Air Force One as a paintbrush. I don't know how else to describe it. Y'all go check it out, Mr. Yesterday Night. That was fire. And again, tomorrow's a closing show. So also quick hat tip, blip, blip, quick hat tip, blip, blip. WJBS Radio, shouts out to them. They had their mixer. It was the same night as the opening of at Chris White. Shouts out to all those involved at WJBS, Darnell, Miller, Jay, and now it was a whole squad there. You know what I'm saying? I came through, little soiree. Listen, I had vegan food. I don't really eat vegan like that. It was delicious. It was delicious. So shouts out to them for putting on the mixers and all of that, so y'all get to know what the radio station is. Once again, WJBS Radio. Also, quick hat tip, blip, blip. So the quick hat tip, blip, blip. Open mic jam session, Delaware Music Network had it on Wednesday. Listen, I'm talking Blue Tulip was in the building. It was London the Singer was in the building. It was a dope open mic, to my understanding. We had somebody from the Grammy committee pull up. Like, why? Talk about what they want to do in Delaware, pouring back in. So shouts out to them. Even on the harp, Shorty was on the harp. The harp though. Yes, had the big harp out in the Wilmington Library. So shouts out to her. Names escapes me, but the whole squad, everybody put that together. Again, Delaware Music Network open mic jam session. Blip blip. Also, Eric Crow Darden had the open mic up in Jersey. I was up in there this weekend. I just checked it out. I'm talking about, when I say, listen, it was Kim Graham on that thing. It was Aziza Naila on that thing. It was John Carr on that thing. It was like the amount of people. This was a setup of an open mic. Shouts out to Christian Anthem on that thing. Like, it was just a lot of people. It was fine. That was just local. They had some folks from Jersey up in there. Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. Shouts out to all the poets that was on that lineup. So again, that was last Saturday. They do that, I believe, the first Saturday of every month. Shouts out to Eric Crow for the open mic in Penns Grove. Also, hat tip to the Lyric Lounge. I'm talking about that right there. I was there. My man Poindexter from MeWe. Woo! Poindexter from MeWe. Listen, is you dumb or is you stupid? My man snapped up in there. Listen, I'm telling y'all, the head was bald and shining. You could see the tattoo sticking out. He was killing them. So shouts out to them. Shouts out to Latoya Marie. Listen, and Angelo hosting. They was getting the vibe. It was good. Listen, they had people getting words, and then they was just singing. And one young boy just started singing "Overcome." All he did was sing the word "overcome." People, we were in tears, like, "Overcome." No, we gonna do it. I promise you, we gonna overcome. That's how you felt. Okay, that's how you felt when he sang the word. So shouts out to 3G Management, Soul Synthesis Band, everybody who put that together. Again. And also one more time, one more again, hat tip blip to Sankofa, the art exhibit. Okay, I can't name all the artists involved, so I will say Seven. Shouts out to Seven God. What he did, everybody got installed in that thing. They had an artist talk. They all chopped it up, it was very interesting conversation. It was a dope conversation for a dope exhibit. It's still in the Concord Mall. If you get a chance, go see it. Shouts out to Seven. I wish I could name all the artists. It's like 8 or 9 of them. Like, it's a lot of artists in that building. But hat tip to all of them. They're all phenomenal artists. Again, hat tip to them. And again, one more time, hat tip to you, Elize, for being such a phenomenal, an amazing artist and a great interview. Just having a great conversation. Again, you've been dope, so this ain't new to me, but it's great to talk to you about it to the world. Anybody you would like to give a hat tip to?
Man, God, my parents, my whole family, really. RACNA, Ataki Oliver, Soft Girls, Sarah Crawford, City of Wilmington, Delaware, period.
Absolutely. Shouts out to them. Hat tip to all of them. Blip, blip. Hat tip to them. Now, do you have a word for me?
Retrospect.
Okay. All right. I'm thinking. Okay, sometimes I have memories that come in line that are hard to define, but also hard to ignore. Like, it's something about how it takes me back to feeling the Genesis. Well, maybe it's just the Sega, or maybe it's the N64. See, it's just not a game that they're used to. Like, I just know that it's something that truthfully they want you to forget so they can put right back in front of your face and easily confuse you. They don't understand how it starts. And honestly, they want you to remember it in a way that's, well, hardly. So you don't understand how Jeanne made you feel when they first sang It's a Party. I know what you're thinking, because you don't realize that history repeating itself could be so near. I know how that sounds. That's why many sit down, because they don't have the same assertiveness as Coffee Brown. Pam Grier. Like, I just want you to understand how the focus is. A lot of times people don't want to recalibrate it because to see clearly means you got to see all of that bull. Hold up. I need you to feel this. I need you to understand that my perspective is never neglected, but a lot of times I may choose not to share it because those who may hear it may be so quick to fear it that they don't want to receive it. They don't want to choose to believe it. They rather duck, bob, and weave it. Please. All I need you to know is that my perspective was meant to live. As long as we don't repeat, we can find a new way to make all alignment shift. As long as you can adjust to understand everything that happened within the retrospective. Oh.
Mm.
That was you. That was you. That was you. That was your energy. I just put it in the word, made a word salad, and then use Elize's dressing. I didn't make the dressing.
Man. Snap.
With that said, anything you want to say before we get up out of here?
Thank y'all for tuning in. Much appreciated. Stay tuned for what I got in store.
Yes. I purposely didn't ask you because I didn't think you was going to tell me. So.
Tell you what.
Exactly. Whatever's next. Okay? I feel like whatever's next.
Yeah,
See, I already knew. Don't ask me how I knew, but I knew. So, all right. Nope, not doing that. With that said, thanks you again for joining the show and giving such an amazing interview. This has been a dope conversation. I appreciate you. Thank you all for tuning in. This has been Hats Off with your boy G-Jones. Next week, I'll be back with Uncultured Asian. We're going to get some poetry talk the way that we do. As I always like to say, love yourself first and everything else will fall in place. I holla. Hey. Lose yourself is not how you find your fears. I mean, face it. The first is to embrace it. Grab up by the rope as the cuts.